Hello. I'm finishing off this journal I've been working on for a few months. It's got a reusable slow stitched cover, which is rather lovely. Great big pocket in there. But I'm just like in the finishing off stages, and I'm really looking at ephemera and things to go in the pockets. And I've gone through, like, I have a box here and all of these things. I'm sorry, you probably can't see that very well, but I've got this box of stuff that's made up, and I pulled a load of stuff out of there, but actually I don't really have much that's big enough for this journal. So I've got sort of small journaling cards and a book page envelope. I found a load of sort of snippet. See, I like this one. This one would be nice. A load of sort of snippety edge bits, which I've already put into the journal. Sorry, I'm just putting some of this back from where I've thrown it everywhere. You know, and a few things which I might be able to use. But actually, what I need is some tall stuff. It's an A5 journal, so which is 8 1/4 by 6 1/4 ish. So what I really need are some tall tags and some large journaling cards. I don't want to put massive more in here because it's quite heavily embellished, as you can see, and it's a journal with a lot of writing space, but I would like, so there are, I think, 5 scrapbook paper pages, Tim Holtz scrapbook paper pages, and each one of those has a pocket in. So I've got 1, and count to the middle, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 10 altogether. So what I need is something, I would like there to be something in each pocket, at least one thing, possibly a couple, but not more than that. I'm not going to stick pockets on the other pages. I'm going to leave that as it is. So my height, so I want something that's going to be about, things that are approximately sort of 18 to 20 centimetres tall. And for the tags, I don't know, probably about 9 centimetres in the width. So tags 9, and cards, I want to be about 20 by 12, I reckon. So I'm going to go off and find some things, and I will be back. Right, so I've cut some bases, possibly a bit big, between 18 and 20 centimetres high, so around the 8-ish inch mark, and varying widths, so they can be cut, left as cards or tags, and they can always be trimmed down later. And what I think I'm going to do is try and do some scrappy collage. So I've got a paper scrap, so this lot are hole punched and on this ring here. So I've got all of this stuff here. And it's, some of it's a bit brighter, but most of it's fairly muted tones, which will work with this journal. I'm not overly concerned about everything matching entirely. And then I've got other scraps, which I just sort of staple together in sort of scrap sampler style. so that I can flip through them, and they're just bits of everything left over from things. Book page, bits of file folder, etc. So painty papers here. So I'm going to work through these and start sort of laying down some background on some of these tags, cards, and I will probably fast forward that. So here we are. I've picked out some different papers, and I'm gluing them down with my trusty Yoo-hoo glue stick, which I swear by, and I buy them from Amazon in boxes of 12, and they work out really quite reasonable, and it is the best glue stick I've used, in my opinion. It does a good job on lots of things, and it also sticks fabric to paper really effectively without a load of seeping glue and everything else. So yeah, I go through probably more glue stick than any other kind of glue. So yeah, I'm fairly randomly finding bits of paper and sticking them down and doing a not particularly good job of staying on screen, but I am just about, I think, letting you see what I'm doing. Yeah, so I mean, the idea for me with collaging, and the other reason that in some ways it's easier to switch off and do a voiceover, is that actually when I start sticking pieces of paper down like this, particularly when I'm using scraps, I'm able to stop thinking and let my brain just go. Sorry about the aeroplane going over. That's low. Right, nearly gone now. Yeah, I can let my brain just float, and it's really therapeutic process for me. I find it calming. One of the things that happens when I'm recording is I start overthinking everything, particularly if I'm trying to talk at the same time. So in some ways, recording and then talking over afterwards works kind of better. But I'm very new at this, and I'm sure I will find ways and adapt appropriately as I continue on this little YouTube journey. So here we are. I'm finding all sorts of bits and pieces. They really are quite random. Just that I've tried to just stick to pretty muted colours that all work together fairly harmoniously. I've wanted to free myself from things having to match, having to be, coordinated all the time. So what I'm aiming for is something that has a sort of a coherence, but isn't a strict kind of this goes with this and that goes with that kind of mentality. Yeah, I want to be free, and I want to create without having to think too hard. I want it to be a therapeutic process, and actually in many ways for me it's also about the process, not the end result, because I need to create in order to be well, in order to be happy. I need to create when life is tough, so that I can sort of let go of all the things my brain's hanging on to and just lose myself in that process. Just had to pause there for the interruption of husband and dog back from the walk, but I've just talked him into making me a cup of coffee and bringing it up here, so that's good. So yeah, I'm playing with these papers. I've got bits of scrapbook paper. That is something I did on the iPad and printed out. I've got some book paper which I was using to test stamps on. There's a bit of patterned paper right at the bottom, which is from a medieval mirage kit. I can see all sorts of things from everywhere, so it really is kind of everything but the kitchen sink going into these. the file folder that I'm, that pinky beige file folder, I've got loads of those. They're pretty thin though. The file folders we get here in the UK are not the greatest, it has to be said. But really, I want to try and get this big batch of these tags done so that I can fill the journal that I've nearly finished. And yeah, I'm not good at finishing things. I've got so many half-finished, unfinished projects lying around. I really want this year to finish some things up and then ultimately work out what I'm going to do with them all, because I've got a lot of completed work that is just here and taking up space in my home, and I give a lot of it as gifts, but I've never sold any of my work, and that's something that I'm thinking about maybe doing this year if I can. So yes, I continue to collage, I continue to make and generate stuff, and yeah, this was a really enjoyable process. So I'm probably going to stop this bit of fast forward here, because I think you've probably seen enough, and we will come back when I have got all of those stuck down. Right, I'm back. It's actually the next day, and I didn't manage to film very many of these, but I did manage to get them done. So I just used scraps and collaged, and then backed the tags, the cardstock, with some tea stain paper. So some of them are lined and some of them are grid paper, like that, and then I stitched around the edges. So I've got more than I need here, and I'm trying to think what I want to do sort of to make some side kind of finishing focal point on these. So I was looking at the elements of the journal inside, and so the focal point on the front is the vintage price tag. So I've got some more of those cut out, and I can cut out more if I need to. I've got the originals of these, I love them. So they are quite a staple. So I've cut out some of those. I've got some labels. I've also made some like strips. Can you see what I'm doing? Of tickets that I've put together, and then they were all on one sheet and cut down. So I thought I might use those, and the colours are sort of, you know, muted, and really in the journal itself and all the cards, you know, we've got lots of different colours, but they're all in muted tones. And I think that for the most part, the cards and tags, as you can see, are all, you know, pretty muted too. It's a totally eclectic mix, but because my colour palette, my preferred colour palette is these tones, my scraps tend to have that. I think this here is the only exception. I've dirtied it up a bit. I was a little bit worried it was too bright, but it really isn't the end of the world. So there's all sorts of bits in there. That's a bit of Medieval Mirage, some of my own digitals. That's a bit of something from Victoria Designs, and that one's, you know, that one doesn't need anything because it's got that stamped on it. So I'm gonna put that one aside. It might have something, but I'm not gonna fuss with it now. So this one, okay, let's have a look. So this is quite busy. So other things I've got here are some stamps. I've got a load of stamps in here, but I've also got stamps in my stamp album. What are these? Little scripty, texty cards. I've got no idea where they came from. Oh, Christmas. You see, I've got no idea what's in half of these. I've got some bigger labels. So I've got these. So like ones like that. And like that. So these are just AliExpress stickers, basically. And I kind of want to use them up. I've got some Tracy Fox labels that are over here that are fussy cut. I've got these red ones, which are not stickers, they're just paper. It's too big to go on there. So I'm wondering, look, so that, I don't think they need a lot, and I don't want to add masses more bulk, really, to this journal. So let's have a look. Oh, stamps flying everywhere. So, you know, there's a little pre-decimal stamp there. You know, does it need more than that? I don't know. If I'm going to put something on the top or punch it through or whatever, that might be enough. So what about... And because they're neutral, and I struggle with some of these stamps, so that is... No, I've no idea who it's supposed to be. If we had that and that, no, bring that down, stick that up there. What do we think? No, I don't like it. I don't like it. That would work. See, it's purple, but it's muted. Right, I can hear people arriving home now, just as I've started to film. I spent too much time sat around mucking about while the house was quiet, and now it's going to be noisy, so you'll have to excuse any noises. Okay, that one. And then those two. Maybe. Or just one. There is my daughter, if you can hear her, offering the dog her lunch. Right, let's get on with it. Okay, I've got at least 10 of these to do. Let's have a look. There. Right, are we going to punch a hole? What are we going to add? Do we want to put the other one down here? No. 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 Don't like that. What about a bit of ticket strip? Ticket strip. No, I'm going to leave it for now, I think. Do I want to put anything on the top? I'm not as organised as I thought I was. I spent ages doing organising before I started the video, and I still seem to have no clue what I'm doing. Right, what on earth do I want to put on the top? Do I want a little bit of fabric, maybe? What have we got here? Let's have a look. Okay. Right, if we had this, a little bit of this, like that. What else? I need some trim. Fabric scraps are really warm because they're near the radiator, so please excuse me while I rummage. I don't know what I'm doing. What's that? A bit of doily. Well, it's a weird shape, but I think that looks okay. Yeah. Okay. Number 1 done. We might be here a while. Okay, let's get one of the big cards. Let's see what we can do with that. Here we go. So, big journaling card, nicely backed. I've got these green tickets here. Just edge a bit. Strip out of those. Yep. Okay. Look at the labels. I've got all sorts of sticker labels there. I think those washi ones are going to be too pale on this collaged background. Those. That could work. Right, I can use one of the vintage price tags, which was obviously part of my original plan. That's going to need a bit of inking though. And that's more numbers. I don't want more numbers. You just got a shot of my elbow. Yeah, you've just got a shot of my elbow. How lovely for you. Right, okay. Some more weird taggy things. These are just reproductions of vintage receipts. There. Exit. That in. See? It doesn't add much bulk. I think it kind of fits with the feel of the journal. And yeah, let's just ink this up. Do some of my heavy-handed messy inking. Right, so let's get that one down. And that. Like this. and get a bit of blue on here. Got a dog scratching at the door now. Okay. I reckon that's not too bad. Again, they're just journaling cards to go in the pocket, so I don't want to go mad. I don't want to add a load more bulk to the journal. So I think I'll pop these down. I've seemed to have created some kind of chaos just making 2 of these. No, I didn't even make that one. Where's the one I made? There it is. Doing 2 of these. I think I will, I need to pause for a minute anyway, but I might do the next bits of collaging on fast forward, because I'm not sure you want to sit and listen to me procrastinate for hours and hours over a tag or several. Bye. So we're back on fast forward now, and as you can see, I'm doing an absolutely appalling job of being completely on screen. So I don't know if I'm going to use all of this footage. We will see. Once I turn the camera off, actually things did go a lot faster. I managed to make the most enormous mess, absolutely heaping mess, of papers and all sorts of things. I also realised in the interim that I needed some kind of trim to make tabs, so I did just really quickly get some fabric and lace and run it on a zigzag stitch through my machine to cut and finish the tags with. So yes, I thought I was organised and had everything I needed, but far from the case. It was a really enjoyable process. It took a while. There's quite a lot of work in making these and making them from scratch, using a thin base and the back and the front and the collage and the further collage embellishments, stitching around the edges, etc. But we do these things because we enjoy them, we love them, and we enjoy the process. And I do love that feeling when you've got a pile of made ephemera ready, or you've got a journal that's all complete and squishy and lovely. So yeah, it is just an important part of my existence. Now this one here, I think I managed to do a little bit more in camera. So that's a strip of labels, vintage labels I found online and altered digitally, and then I made a whole page of strips of tickets and labels, bus tickets and labels in those sort of slightly greyed out colours. So another one of my vintage price tags, and then I've got a load of so those are bits of tea-stained paper that are from the edge of a spiral bound pad, and I've just stamped on some numbers on them using those little plastic peg stamps that clip together. I've got a couple of sets of those and they're really useful. But I'm pulling out of my bits box all sorts of embellishments now, and quite often, you know, those handmade ones, I really like them. You know, they're totally unique, and I do like using some of those sort of unique things, and some of the little sort of ephemera embellishments that I've done digitally myself. I just really enjoy all aspects of the process, and I often see products and things I like and think, well, how can I recreate that for myself? I mean, I do buy commercially made things as well, but I find it more satisfying often to make things from scratch myself. Depends what it is, really, and depends what sort of phase of creativity I'm in. So there's another card shaping up to be finished, and I will come back and see you, I think, when they're all done. Hi, I'm back. I've got these all finished up. I hope this is not going to end up being a terribly disjointed video. I've had to stop and start. Some bits I'm going to have to wipe the sound because of the noise going on in the house. So I hope that once I've finished showing you these, I can put this together in some kind of coherent way, fingers crossed. I want to be able to just craft here with family life going on around and just let it be what it is. But I'm quite new to it still, and actually if I'm trying to talk and make at the same time, that feels quite difficult. It makes me overthink. Anyway, let me show you what I've done. I realised I needed some kind of tabs and trim, so I very quickly sewed a couple of strips. So that was a piece of torn tea-stained cotton and a bit of lace, and I've just done a zigzag stitch all the way down the middle. And the same thing here with a piece of Hessian ribbon and some tea-stained lace. The Hessian ribbon was wired, so I pulled the wires out the sides, and I have just stapled them on with copper coloured staples, which I quite like. So we have got journaling cards. So I've kept it quite simple, trying to make everything work together as a general sort of feeling for a coherent journal in terms of tone, and the sort of the different ephemera I've used, but it's not a strict thing. I don't want it to look too kind of matching and putting it together. I like contrast. I like the range of muted tones I've used, and I think they work. So we've got journaling cards, one, lots of greenish one, a slightly more pinky one there, and one of the pocket pages in the journal is a Tim Holtz paper that's got pink tones in it, so that would work with that. As with that one, just got a bit more kind of range of colour on. I have kept it simple. I've added probably 3 things, so most of these, 4 on that one, over the original collage. So focusing on tickets, labels, stamps, kind of officey ephemera type things. Some of them are from my own things that I own and I've scanned. These are made with just a draft stamp, bit of tea stained and distressed punched edge of paper. I've got quite a lot of those I've made up, and similarly with these, which have got a bit of paint on them as well. Those, I should have inked that. The price tags, which I've got the originals of, these are little vintage labels from online somewhere. That's a little vintage receipt, which I've got a few of, like the originals. Then we've got, so those are the journaling cards, 5 of those, and then we've got these tool tags. So this one here with a bit of doily. This one here with the pink and that yellowy green paper, which I felt was too bright, and actually it's not bothering me anymore. With the distress ink on it and the other stuff over the top. So yeah, a bit of a bank form, ticket strip, and so on. More of those vintage labels, bit of that receipt on here. And same here. What are my ticket strips? Yeah, label sticker. Bit more of that. So I did do a little bit on that one, but not much. That nice big one there with again a tag that's a public domain image. This one, that's a little Nick the Booksmith freebie label there. I like those. I need to print out some more and of those. This one's got a little fern. So there's a couple of touches of botanical here and there. I think that's fine. And this one, and these are not originals or my own reproductions. These were, I think they were in a sort of like a little ephemera pack that I got, paper ephemera pack, as was that. And those are my tags. So there were 5 journaling cards and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tags. So I've got actually some spares. Although part of me is thinking I probably should have made a few more, but I think the journal will be enormous if I do that. Anyway, if you've stuck through the end to the end of this, I hope it was enjoyable to watch. I hope you will come back and watch again. Do like the video if you can and subscribe, and you can find me on Instagram where I am handmade_bookmakery. I'd love to see you there too. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye bye.